So in this video, I'm going to show you the best tools that I've bought and used this year. I've also decided to do a bit of a giveaway for some of the tools and accessories that you're going to see during this video. If you stick around during the video, I'll tell you exactly how to get involved in winning them. Has anybody ever bought you a woodworking related gift without any input from you and got it right? No! Or have you ended up with something like this? The generic gift. The right price range, a cool look, and no need to worry if it's actually useful. This happens all the time and it needs to stop. This is this year's gift list for the woodworker in your life. Let's get started. The generic gift first and why it's just not right. First of all, you get loads of features. Compass, bottle opener, pen, flint and spark, screwdriver. Basically, it's a hodgepodge of certain things that happen to fit in a pen-sized space. So let's do better. Tool number one, this is the Estviig Countersink bit for repeatable pilot drilling and countersinking all in one. This here is the winner of a countersink challenge that we did to find the best all-round bit. And in that video, if you didn't see it, I pitted a whole load of countersink bits against this Amana, best in class of the time, to see if we could get a bit that did everything this did, possibly a little bit more, but for a better budget. I tested build quality, value, cut quality, and a load of other things. And this one won out. At £22, you got 4 different drill bit diameters, a depth stop, an all-metal robust build, and importantly, the pilot bit comes out long enough so you can do every job you need to do. This is basically a gift that shows the receiver you're not cheaping out, rather, you're covering all bases. That's pretty impressive for £22 or $22. And don't forget, as we go along, I'm going to leave links to everything you see in this video down in the description so you can check it out for yourself. Now this next tool is a really easy choice for me because I want to support a fellow maker in what they do. And recently, Leo, formerly of Hand-Eye Crafts, has now become single-handedly made. After his TV appearance, he's had a full overhaul of what he does both on Instagram and on his YouTube and on his website. And I think it looks fantastic. But more importantly, he sells this. This is a food-safe conditioning wax. If you've watched this channel for any amount of time, you'll see that I have 2 finishes. If I want a finish that sits on the surface, giving it a little bit more of a shine, then I use spray lacquer. If I want a penetrating finish, like you'll see in next week's video, where we do all of the Christmas gifts and things you can sell over this holiday period, you'll notice that I use this wax mineral spirit blend. And there's only 2 reasons that I use this. It's easy and it's effective. Wipe it on, leave it 20 minutes, and then buff it off. I'm going to pop the link to Leo's website down below so you can check out this, but also you can check out what he's building and selling right now. And if you happen to have a free moment after this video, why not check out his videos on YouTube? I think you'll be impressed. Tool number 3. Not only is this a great gift idea, but also in a roundabout way, it's a really good tool to get you woodworking for longer. And the reason for that is just comfort. For years, I've owned just one belt, a standard leather one. But I was starting to find that it was digging in when I was moving around the workshop, standing for long periods of time. Well, these belts from Arcade solved that. And they've given me a couple to give away, which I'll tell you about in a second. See, what they have is a ton of different designs, all giving you the freedom of motion to move with your body while providing a secure hold with no pinching. They're simple to adjust, durable and stylish. But the main reasons I've included them in this list are: reason 1, I never have to take them off my work trousers. You just chuck them in the washing machine together because they're machine washable. You won't know how nice that is until you actually try. And reason 2, Arcade belts have offered to support what I do, and that's really kind. They sent me a ton of belts to try out 6 months ago. And this one hasn't come off my trousers since. Until now, to show you. But it is my favourite. But there's more. On the screen now, and in the description, there's a code that will get you free shipping for all UK and EU orders. And there's a Black Friday deal on now for UK and EU viewers, where if you spend more than £60 or €70, you get a free pack of these cool USB-C rechargeable pale blue batteries. They're much better for the environment than your disposable batteries, and they come in this handy travel case. I'm going to throw a set of these into the giveaway as well. The giveaway bundle's really starting to look quite good right now. And one more bonus for Patreon members, both free and paid, and for YouTube members, Arcade belts have given me 2 free belts to give away. So while you're looking in the description, it's worth clicking on the link to take you to Patreon and sign up as well. Remember, even those of you that sign up for free will get in for the draw. And stick around because I may just be adding to that prize pool a little bit later on. But the main reason for these belts overall, the more comfortable you are, the longer you can do woodworking for. Simple. Tool number 4, and now it's time for a series of tools. I made these a while back. These are homemade bench cookies. I made some just plain, but I made some with dogs so that you could pop them on your workbench and they'd stay in place while you sanded on them. But let's be honest, you may not want to give the woodworker in your life something homemade as a gift. Not this anyway. They're not quite fancy enough. These, on the other hand, these are. But which ones do you choose? You got the Milescraft tri-grips at £24 UK or $10 US. It's quite a lot of shipping charges for us in the UK. Or you got the hexagonal ones by Wolfcraft at £24 UK, $16 US. But is there another better option for less? I found these by Bora. These are actually designed to go with their centipede expanding workbench, but they happen to fit very handily in a dog hole. I don't know if they've done it on purpose, but they're concaved so they get a really nice grip on whatever wood you place on them. And at £15 for 6 or $15, that's pretty good value. And just to throw another one into the mix, you've got these made by Bench Dogs UK. It's basically a metal bench dog with a rubber pad on it. So which one of these is the gift that suits? Well, let's keep it simple with a grip test. Under weight, the Milescraft is absolutely rock solid. The Wolfcraft has a little bit of movement in it, but I think that's due to the way that the pads are made out of foam, whereas the Milescraft are made out of rubber. But both of those are very sturdy. But what about putting the sander up to max and really giving these a test? As you can see, the Milescraft holds out a little bit better because it doesn't have that movement. But stick for stick, they're both pretty good. Now, what about Bora versus Bench Dogs? With a bit of added pressure, the Bench Dogs, probably due to their smaller surface area, don't hold quite as well. The Bora, on the other hand, is pretty much rock solid. But do they beat the Milescraft? I have to say the grip on the Milescraft is slightly superior. And the big boys have some more tricks up their sleeves. The Wolfcraft actually has an attachable bench dog that, using an Allen key, you can just screw onto the bottom of it. And due to the way the dog's designed, you can lock it into a dog hole and it stays in there really firmly. And on top of that, you can add one of these painting pins into the top so you can use them when you're applying finish. The Milescraft tri-grips don't have the same dog holes that you can add, but they do have the painter's pins. Due to their triangular design with a pin on one of the corners, you can take multiples of them, raise them up, and use them as painting pins. Though on comparison, I do worry about how stable the triangles are due to how thin they are when placed on their end, compared to the nice, squat Wolfcraft. Again, I got my sander out to test how stable the Bora and the Bench Dogs were, and I have to say, the Bora were perfectly fine for sanding. The Bench Dogs were okay, but they did move around a little bit more. But what I really liked about the Bora is not just their simplicity, but the fact that the Bench Dog locks them down. They're doing one job for sanding and they're doing it really well. And I have one tiny concern with the Wolfcraft, because as we said, the grip is made out of foam instead of rubber on all of the other ones. I do worry about what would happen if you get glue or finish on it, how easy it would be to actually get it off again. Because on rubber, glue's going to cure and peel off. You can wipe and probably even wash these. But with foam, I don't know if that would deteriorate or if finish would actually penetrate it. But if you're looking for a conclusion for which one of these actually makes the best gift, if you want a good all-rounder and you haven't got a bench with dog holes, the Milescraft is great. But if you have dog holes, you want to save a little bit of money, especially if you're in the UK, then these Bora are a really good deal for 6 of them. And then maybe, if you want to do painting, either buy really cheap painter's triangles or 3D print some of these painter spikes that go in your dog holes yourself. Now it's time for a little bit of self-indulgence, because there's one more thing in this category that I think would make a fantastic gift for anybody with a 3D printer. Recently, I've put files for my very own bench cookies with dogs attached on the website. I'm going to put a link down to that in the description. And these also happen to come with these handy storage shelves. So you can pop on your wall or on a French cleat and keep them out of the way, but on hand for when you need them. And each one of them has a dog. You can attach grippy nitrile rubber to the top. And you can print your own painter's pins so you'll have your work raised up when you're applying finish to it. And that could be the best of all worlds. They're not quite as grippy as the ones you're going to buy, but with a sheet of this nitrile rubber costing you around about a £5, they're significantly cheaper. I'll put a link down in the description for the sheets of rubber as well. And the fact that you can print different sizes makes this a very versatile and useful addition to any workshop. As well, let's not forget that the whole bundle itself gives you 8 different tools and around 20 different files for all the different permutations. That's a pretty good gift. Oh yeah, and for reasons I just can't explain, I accidentally bought the Milescraft ones twice. So I'm going to add this to the Patreon and members giveaway. Remember, free or paid, you can get yourself into the draw for any of these, link in the description. It's also a great way to support the channel and see a little bit of behind the scenes videos. Tool number 5, the Suizan Flush Cut Trim Saw, or Flush Trim Saw. These saws are everywhere on woodworking YouTube videos. And when I first started out, I bought this one. And it was only recently that I bought this one from Suizan. And what these do is they cut something like a dowel or a plug flush to a surface. And because the teeth of the saw are not splayed like a regular saw, they don't mar the surface that you're cutting flush to. But these two saws are not the same. First, tapered sides. I find that the Suizan saw doesn't stick or bind when you're using it. I can't say the same for the cheap equivalent. I mean, it could be the tapered sides or it could be the added flex that this one just doesn't have. Either way, the flex certainly adds to making the cuts a lot easier. Also, the Suizan has a hardwood and a softwood option with different teeth on each side, carefully labelled. And basically, it glides through a cut where the cheap one just doesn't. Every woodworker needs one of these. Give or buy yourself the right saw for the job. And at £20, $20, you won't regret it. Oh yeah, and maybe stock up on a few extra plasters because these tend to bite when you least expect it. Along with a good saw, every workshop needs a good knife. I've had this Stanley sliding knife for years now. And as a gift, this is absolutely perfect. But let's face it, when comparing knives that use the same Stanley blade, the quality of cut is not really what you're looking at. What you're looking at is design and ergonomics. And I guess on top of that, you look at features. And I have to say, I've always preferred this knife to the more, I guess, traditional shaped Stanley knives. It's much lighter weight, smaller, and it's much easier to put in your pocket. And this is on the list because it only costs about £11. But another one caught my eye a few months ago. And I'll be honest with you, I'm not a big knife guy, but I do love a gadget or a tool that does multiple jobs. And this is the Spear & Jackson trim knife. It folds up nice and compact, not quite as small as the Stanley, but not far off. It feels really robust and has a really nice access point for spare blades, which is not really something you can say about the original style, which you have to dismantle to get to spare blades. I love the belt clip and the flick out design. It's locked when it's closed and the button on the side unlocks it and then locks it into position with positive stops at different angles along the way. And there's one more trick. Press the button on the side and the head rotates to become a scraper. And what's just as clever, when it's in this orientation, the lock button, even when you press it, won't allow it to close. Because if you get that wrong, well, that could be quite sore. So, for doing 2 jobs in one and only costing £10, or I did find an equivalent brand for you guys in the US that comes in about $20, I think that's a really good and thoughtful gift for the woodworker in your life. Okay, we're going to go with a little bit of a quick fire finish to this. Tool number 7, and these tools kind of speak for themselves. I believe every workshop needs a good set of calipers, and they don't have to be expensive. You can get analog or digital. I opted for digital because my eyesight's not really that great. But basically there are times any woodworker needs some good accurate measurements. Inside measurements, outside measurements, and depth. If you have doubts about whether these would be useful in your workshop, get a set, test it against whatever you use to measure small increments now. Be it a ruler or an adjustable square or a tape measure, and just see how close you get to the measurement you think you're going for. You may be surprised, but an okay set of these comes in at £20 or $20, and they all come in this nice handy case. So there's no issue trying to wrap something that's a weird shape. That's another bonus. Don't laugh, but tool number 8 is an incredibly cheap one, but it is possibly the most used tool in my entire workshop. A whiteboard. You can get these in all sorts of sizes, but I love these small ones that come with the option to just hang it on a nail. Because the problem is, I write on a random scrap of paper, I'm gonna lose it. You're not gonna lose this. Whether you scribble a cuts list and then wipe it off as you make each one of the cuts you need to do, or you scribble down a design that you're going to do for your build. That's basically all I can say about it. £5, $6, they really are that cheap. But a warning, you may lose the pen that comes with it, so it might force you to buy a couple of dry board markers, because the clip that it comes with isn't very good. In fact, I've lost the clip, but it still gets a lot of use. Tool number 9 is another quick one. I use a speed square pretty much every time I do a build, but not this one, this one. Don't get me wrong, the small ones are great and really handy, but if you're cutting using a speed square and a circular saw, this gives you more support over a wider cut. And for doing large builds, they are brilliant. You'll be surprised how often you pick this up. And the bonus is, as it's a Swanson, it's a reliable name, you get 2 in the set. You get a smaller and a larger one, and you get the handy little book that they print with it that talks all about all the different things a speed square can do and the angles. And the 2-pack set costs £27 or $21. So it's perfect in that range for a really great gift for the woodworker in your life. Let's finish with a big one. This is the Microjig GRR-Ripper, or Grr-Ripper as it's spelt. And it's going to come in at £50 or $50. But safety has to come first. Well, on a list it's coming last, but as a priority it has to come first. Now I know many people are not comfortable using a push block where your hand travels over an exposed table saw blade, and that's absolutely fine. I'm not telling you have to do it, only do what you feel comfortable doing. Because not only does your hand have to travel over the blade, you've also had to remove the crown guard. And that's a big decision too, both for lack of dust extraction and for the exposed blade. But if you're comfortable doing all of that, this is an incredibly good bit of kit. Because of its design, it supports both sides of the cut, and it's perfectly designed for non-through cuts like rebates or grooves. But it's like anything in woodworking. Follow your own safety rules and guidelines and only do what feels safe to you. I would have been very happy had someone bought that for me. And that's nearly it. Well, it is the end of the list. However, let me tell you about the giveaway really quickly, because the prize pot, well, it's escalated a little bit through the video. And remember, if you want to get involved for this giveaway, all you've got to do is sign up for YouTube members or pop over to Patreon, free or paid, and you'll be in with a chance to win. And no matter what you sign up to, I'm going to show you the video in January on Patreon and on YouTube members. So as a reminder, here's what you could win. First of all, the arcade belts. You've got the hardware belt, and you've got my favourite, the woody belt. With the woody belt, I'm also going to throw in that pack of USB chargeable batteries. Now the third is going to be an extra set of these tri-grips that I accidentally bought. Fourth prize is a brand new one of these Countersink bits. And then, as a special thank you for supporting me through starting to sell through my website, I've actually printed out some of the 3D prints from the plans that I sell. So we've got 2 sets of those to give away. So in each of the prizes, you get 1 set of the large bench cookies with the bench cookie shelf, and I've even put the nitrile rubber on there for you, save you doing it. I'm also going to throw in one of the medium sets with its own shelf. On top of that, you'll get 2 of the V-blocks, one with a stop and one for support. So all your chamfering needs are going to be sorted out. And finally, one of the dog trays with 20 painter's pins. So 2 sets of those to give away. That's a total of 6 prizes. I hope that's enough to at least get you coming over to Patreon to see what we're all about. And that's it. All the links for the tools are down below in the description if you want to check them out for yourself and support the channel. Whether you buy these for yourself because, let's be frank, you deserve it, or you buy them for a woodworker that you know, or you give this video as a subtle hint to someone buying for you, I hope you get as much pleasure from these tools as I have. But more than that, I hope you have a wonderful festive period, whatever you're doing, whatever you're making. Please remember to be kind to yourself, because you absolutely deserve that too. If you choose to join us over on Patreon, or you want to take a look at last year's lists, I'll see you over there. Thanks a lot.